Yes, Jesu Chete, that is the song rendered by Chitungwiza harmony singers from Zimbabwe, our neighbors. Good evening, my name is Sibusiso Njeza, and this is the Choral Hour. If you are watching this for the first time, this is a new feature in the Choralist Conversations, where every Thursday at 7 o'clock, I catch up with different choirs just to find out what is it that they're doing, what they were planning to do for 2020, and how their plans got disturbed by COVID-19, the lockdown in particular, and what is it that they're planning to do to recover such plans, and what are they doing to keep in touch with their members during this lockdown. This week, I am having Chitungwiza harmony singers from Zimbabwe. I am hoping that I would be joined by the conductor and members of the executive, but I think the conductor is having challenges with connection, but I'll hear from the members of the executive committee. If you're watching on Facebook, welcome, and on YouTube, welcome, and those that will be watching this stream in future, because other people are going to catch up when we are done for tonight. I want to welcome and thank them as well, those that will be watching the stream after we have had the conversation. So without any waste of time, let me welcome my guests so that we can get to know them. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Njeza. How are you?
I'm good, man. Finally, we're here. It's been a struggle, I know, but finally, we're here. How are you doing this evening?
I am fine. There she goes. Yes, I wanted the lady to speak first. Honor, ladies.
Yes, she's here. She's here. How are you, Mama?
I'm fine. How are you this evening?
I'm very well. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Let me, before we go ahead with the conversation, let me give you a chance to introduce yourselves, What is it that you do within the choir? Are you singers? Are you in the executive committee? And what are your duties? I know Joe wants Women First. In South Africa, it's Women's Month. So we'll start with you, Mama. Just introduce yourself. What is it that you do within the choir?
Okay, thanks very much. I'm Mawalis Mseka, brackets Jiri. This is Jiri. Yeah, I joined the choir in 1993, and I'm 26 years in the choir. I'm quite happy. I'm now a go-go, but still singing alto. I'm in the executive committee, and I'm a treasurer, and I enjoy my job to be a treasurer because I'm good at following up for some subscriptions. You know, I collect subscriptions. I collect membership fees, winnings fees, whatever income coming to the choir. I'm responsible. I do the choir books, and I'm an accountant at work. So I'm quite pleased with the job to be the treasurer of the choir. Thank you.
That's great. I hope all treasurers out there took a note there that you don't have to be loved by members. You do
Yes,
your
I know.
job. Yes, you follow up on membership fees, subscriptions, you raise that money.
Yes.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much, Mama. And
Okay.
and Joe, over to you.
My name is Joseph Maramba. I'm the Chitungwiza Harmony Singers manager. I have been managing the choir since last year. I'm a baby, actually. But in terms of association with the Chitungwiza Harmony Singers, I joined in 2012. And I have been with Chitungwiza Harmony Singers ever since. I sing baritone. Well, I used to sing baritone, but now with overwhelming responsibilities of being a manager and also work-related issues, I am just managing the choir. So my job entails working with the executive committee hand in glove, making sure that whatever their desires come to life, and including this online interview. Yes,
That's great. You know, you made me interested in how your choir is structured. One of the conversations I had among the first 2-3 conversations on the Choralist, we were looking at how choir structures are. You know, other choirs, you would see that they are run by a conductor, just the conductor, and there's no executive, there's nothing. Other choirs have like proper structures. So how is the structure, management structure in your choir?
Yeah, the choir came into that realization that they needed to separate the artistic part of the group and also the business aspect of the group. So you find there are things such as going to meet your clients or getting bookings and talking to whoever wants to talk to to the choir. So that alone is on its own is a big part of the choir, which if we had loaded that on the director himself, it was going to be very, very hard for him to to pursue issues such as the artistic or the direction that he wants artistically for the group itself. So we have sort of separated, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the manager now leads the choir. No, I follow behind, because the vision and the direction of the choir is from the founder, and when he passed it on to the son, then now we literally, or I literally, with the management, have to follow that direction and that vision.
There are many comments coming in here. Can you read that one? What does that
maybe
mean?
you can read that one.
Chero angori mwana wa Mwari.
What does that mean?
I think he's trying to
It
say.
means, yeah. Go
Um,
ahead.
I don't know what he's trying to say. Churaringo Imano Mari. Anybody who belongs to God.
But
I don't know.
yeah, in translation, it means as long as they
Belongs.
are a son of God, yeah, or belongs to
Is
God.
that
I'm sure
something
maybe part
from?
of his message got lost somewhere.
Yeah, is it part of what maybe triggered by what the song Jesu Chete that you were singing, what it means?
Like I'm saying, maybe if
Jesu Chete means in Mhm.
Yes, go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead, Maulis.
you can go. Don't go ahead.
No, she wants you to say it.
Okay. No, okay, Jesu Chete is it literally translates to in all the things that we do. It's all about Jesus. It is Jesus who has who has given us the opportunity and stuff. It celebrates Jesus Christ as our Savior and Lord. So in Shona we'll be saying Ndi Jesu Chete ndiye mudiwa wangu. He's the love of my life. So it's Jesus only. Is the love of my life. So I think that message was there was something lacking on the full text there. I'm not too sure what he wanted to say because it doesn't mean anything to us as CHS.
Okay. Okay,
So,
let's Tawanda
Yeah.
will correct that one. All right, now let's take it from the beginning. Mama, you said you started with Chitungwiza in 1993, and I believe that's the year the choir was formed.
I
So
think they need the correction. The choir started in 1993. Then I joined in 1994.
1990, just a year after.
Yeah, after it was formed. Yes.
So you basically know the reasons why whoever was there in 1993 started the choir. So why did you start the choir? And I'm also interested in what you guys say in your website that you take members from churches around Chitungwiza and Harare, if I'm not mistaken. But why are you focusing only on churches if that is the case?
I think we are interested in those people who go to church because we don't want drinkers and smokers. We encourage people to come to God without any hassles of drinking because we believe you can't sing choral music when you are drunk. Definitely.
Okay, you want to add on that, Joe?
Yeah, when the choir was formed in 1992 and 93, as she correctly says, the then founder, Israel Zangare, amongst a group of his friends, saw it fit that, you know what, we have these choirs singing in the different churches. So one is from Methodist, one is Anglican, one is Roman Catholic. So why not have a choir that celebrates all of these different forms of singing and that can sing without the bias of I'm coming from a specific church. And of course, the same values that Maulis is talking about, the values of being a Christian, a true Christian, are those values that they just took from the church and brought into the choir. And so Chitungwiza is the birthplace of the choir. That's where Israel Zangare was living at the time, and his family is still living there at this current moment. So they took choirs first from that area. Chitungwiza is more like Pretoria to Johannesburg. They are very close together, but they are different. They are different. They are they are separate towns and separate cities, but they are very close together. So eventually, with time, they started realizing that the fame and the love for choral music was going far beyond Chitungwiza. So other choristers from Harare, which is now close to Chitungwiza, wanted to come in, and then Israel thought, why not? If everybody or anybody who wants to join is joining because they want to sing choral music and sing unto the Lord, which is our theme, let them join. So because of the movements, they just started taking people from Chitungwiza and Harare to make it easy for for practices and all of this congregation.
So is it still as closed as that currently, or you now open? Because I mean, we see you in South Africa. So if people from South Africa would want to join your choir, are you open to that?
Yes, the limitations are only on the geography, as in how do you practice with us. But we have fans and we have members that have sometimes crossed from Zimbabwe into South Africa. They still remain members with us. They can, as Maurice says, Maurice can follow up on their subscriptions and all of their membership and stuff like that. But they won't be able to then practice and perform with us, because obviously the director would want to to perform or to sing or to to conduct people who have been practicing with him. So if they can show up at practice each and every day, I don't know, with a jet plane or whatever it is, there's no problem.
Okay. So you guys heard, if you want to join Chitungwiza Harmony Singers, you can join for as long as you are going to pay your dues and know how to practice your music. Mama, let me come back to you because you've been with the choir so long, which means you've been involved in the choral scene in Zimbabwe for quite a long time. So I've never been to Zim to see how the choral scene is, and quite honestly, I only know one choir, and that is Chitungwiza Harmony Singers, because I've seen you here in South Africa. So can you draw us a picture, those of us that don't know how the choral scene is in Zimbabwe? Can you draw us a picture? How is it in Zim? Do you have many choirs? What are the activities that are happening for choirs in Zimbabwe?
Yeah, thank you. I think from our experience as Chitungwiza Harmony Singers, we got many choirs to join the Old Mission Choir Festivals through us. They were interested in our choir, and they were audited there were some auditions with Old Mission Telecom, and then they joined. And from there, we traveled to South Africa with starting with 2 choirs. Then they increased to about 6 or 7 choirs or 8 choirs. Then later, the Old Mission Choir Festivals management said that no, now in Zimbabwe, we are getting more choirs from your country. So I think it's now 2 years or so, if I'm not sure, if I'm not lost. They said now you can compete within Zimbabwe to avoid cost of transport or accommodation. So we have been competing as choral choristers within Zimbabwe. And it has grown, the music has grown very well in Zimbabwe, and they've been competing with so many choirs. I think from last year, is it last year, but one, I think we managed to come from the standard section up to the light section. But there are many choirs who are much interested, and our music is much improved through the Chitungwiza Harmony Singers. And some of the choir masters, they came out from the Chitungwiza Harmony Singers to make their own choirs, which is quite good.
That's really impressive. Now, tell me, before you guys decided to come to South Africa to sing in the National Choir Festival, what was happening in Zim? That is between 1993, when the choir was formed, until such time when you decided to come and compete in South Africa. Were there any festivals, any competitions you were attending?
Yes. I think in 1994, there was our first competition with Colgate Palmolive, which was sponsored by Lever Brothers. And we competed there, I think, for 1995, 96. We are sweeping all the prizes. And there was also the Chitungwiza Regional Choral Association, which was also formed for the choral choristers to join and improve our music. We are not just sitting it all. And then there were some NAMA awards. We got NAMA awards for best choral overall choral winners, and it was quite enjoyable. I think from the Chitungwiza Harmony Singers, we managed to raise so many choirs within Zimbabwe. Then I think later, that's when sometime in 2001, I think that's when we started to join Old Mutual competitions. And there we worked very much to be number one. At first, it was very tough, and the music wasn't quite good. But from our experience, we managed to move up and up and up until we managed to win also in South Africa.
That's true. You know, if one heard Chitungwiza Harmony Singers back in the day when you just joined, like 2001, 2002, and your recent performances at the NCF, one could see a clear path of development. You know, Joe, I'm not sure if you know that one or not, because you said you joined much later. But what was the reason for you guys to decide to compete in South Africa in the National Choir Festival?
Okay, so you know, because most of the choral music and the choral competitions that were being held in Zimbabwe prior to 2001 were largely competitions within Zimbabwe, as Maurice mentioned. You know, the Colgate Palmolive, where you would have big choirs like the Dombotombo Old Student Association. I think at one time they should have or might have traveled to the Old Mutual competitions in South Africa. So everything was just local, and we didn't have this experience of South African competition or South African festivals, or this we didn't have it. When we joined the Old Mutual in 2001, they basically didn't know where to place us, because we were literally like the only choir that was joining the Old Mutual National Choir Festivals. So they put us in Limpopo, which is a region which is closer to us.
Yeah.
So as Maurice said, it wasn't as easy as people see it now. We basically started from singing in Limpopo and being knocked out until until at a time when we then won in the Limpopo region, and then started moving to the national finals, where we started mixing and mingling with the other bigger choirs from the rest of the region. When that happened, we saw this gradual increase in the love of choral music in Zimbabwe. Some choristers, as Maurice says, started to realize they could also form other choirs, and some choirs that were in other regions here in Zimbabwe, such as Bulawayo and Harare itself, started forming up and saying, look, we can also do this. And then when Old Mutual realized that, they realized, okay, we don't need to include you in Limpopo. There were a couple of years that some of these choirs went to Limpopo. That's when they realized we need our own region, which is now Zimbabwe. So we compete here, and there are quite a large number of choirs that have come up and that have taken the baton sort of from Chitungwiza Harmony Singers and realized they can also do the same. And hence the reason why there's this growing love for choral music in Zimbabwe, classical music, so to speak.
That is actually great. I hope, even here in South Africa, we have 9 provinces. And I know out of the 9 provinces, the number of choirs are decreasing every year. to an extent that in some provinces you will find 3 or 4 choirs competing, but back in the day you would have 10 or more choirs competing. So I hope your story of how you started by coming to South Africa and then encouraging other choirs, to also join in, such that you can have your own regional eliminations in Zimbabwe. I hope that story is inspiring, to other choirs. Okay, now let's come to this year. Definitely, you guys had plans for 2020, and of course, all countries are dealing with COVID-19. It actually disturbed all the plans. Perhaps before we even speak about the plans, how are things in Zimbabwe, in relation to COVID-19? We are on lockdown level 3 in South Africa. It's changing levels. Some industries are still closed. We can't have concerts. We can't have public performances, those kind of things. How is it in Zimbabwe? Ma, you want to take that one?
Okay.
Yeah.
About the lockdowns, I think we can't go and sing because of the COVID-19. Because as singers, definitely we can't. So I think it has disturbed a lot of our plans. I think the manager has got more plans to talk about. But to keep our choir going, I think we are making a lot of things on our website, showing our gospel, our choral music, showing our concerts, making some devotions to make our people keep on going and not to forget music, and hearing also the word of God through our website and WhatsApp. I think the manager can add.
Yes, this is the website that he is referring to, www.chitungwizaharmonysingers.wordpress.com. Another good story to tell, because you ask yourself a question: how many choral choirs have websites whereby you can just go to the website, find out what the choir is all about, get their videos, see the pictures, see their plans? Please go visit that website and be inspired to have your own. Sorry about that, Joe, but I wanted to speak about your website. You can go ahead.
No, that's okay. Thank you very much. So our COVID cases are going up in Zimbabwe. So daily we're getting new local infections. So ever since the government put a lockdown, we have sort of stopped all our plans that we had for the year, because we couldn't congregate. We are more than 70 active members at one go. So imagine trying to have all of those people at whatever venue when the limit is 50, then it becomes a problem. So we have literally stopped everything that we had plans for. Maybe we're going to talk about it later on, but as it is, as a choir, we are just sitting and waiting for the time when we will be able to practice and then go and sing for the Lord.
That's great. Let's get to the plans. What did you have for 2020? What were your plans for this year? Joe? Joe, can you hear me? It looks like Joe is having a challenge with his network.
I think
let's start, Mama. He will get back and add. So what were your plans for 2020?
I think for 2020 we wanted to have some a big festival for remembering the late Israel Zangari, the founder of the Chitungwiza Harmony Singers. So we wanted to make a very big concert, including all the choirs in Zimbabwe. We wanted to make a competition, giving the choristers the songs which were written by Israel Zangari, so that we can raise funds for the choir and raise funds also for the family. Also, we wanted to make, we had a plan for projects to help the choir, because most of our members of the choir, some they don't work. So we wanted to make some projects. So we are in the process of writing the project proposals. And we had chosen a certain group of choristers to make some project proposals for 2020.
Okay, before Joe adds to your projects, that we're planning for 2020, I hear that you had identified choristers that will then prepare proposals. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm interested in that because we in one of the conversation we spoke about identifying potential within the choir, because there are people who are accountants, who are lawyers, who are, I'm not saying people must be exploited, but people would be willing to offer their services because they are part of the choir in one way or the other. So is that how you guys do it in Chitungwiza Harmony Singers?
Yes, I think that's what we did for our 2020 plans, to identify choristers so that we can make everyone work towards the choir. Just come here to sing, but no, to make something that to sustain the choir, also to sustain the choristers.
Oh, that's beautiful. Joe, we lost you just as you were about to outline the projects that you guys had planned for 2020. So now that you're back, you can go ahead.
Okay, so I think network is playing up on us, but Maulis did a great job in talking about some of those projects that we've got going on. So we that we wanted to do in 2020. We had seen that the biggest issue that we have as the choir is sustainability. We come to the national to the choir festival, and then either we win, mostly we want to win. So when we win that amount, we come back, it's in our coffers. How do we sustain that until we get to to the next year after Old Mutual has paid us? Seeing that Old Mutual is doing a lovely job, I must thank them right now for for uplifting as mainly because of our economy. It's hard to get organizations supporting choral music. So what we wanted to largely do was to be sustainable. So we win something, we want to have a project that we can continuously cultivate and look at and earn more money. As Maulis was saying, our choristers, unlike in South Africa, we have realized this. I don't know, maybe I stand corrected, but the majority of our choral music choristers in South Africa might be working somewhere. They might have a business. I watched the last interview you had. One of the directors owns his own business, etc., etc., etc. So we have that problem where our choristers are not heavily funded. They don't have a lot of money, or they cannot, sometimes even failing to pay their registration or their membership fee. So we wanted to aid them and have a project that they can fall back to, even if you are not qualified professionally, but maybe you have, you know how to rear chickens, or you know how to to paint a car or to wash a car, whatever project. We thought, let's have a project that can sustain us and make sure that when we want to go elsewhere or do something or fund ourselves to do a concert, then we can easily do that without having to ask from the choristers themselves to say, can we have 100 rand from you or 500 rands from you, which they might not have most of the times. So all of this, that is the the biggest thing that we wanted to do with the project. Then certainly with the concept that we wanted to do was to also spread the love for choral music in Zimbabwe. We have realized that we sort of fall underneath other genres of music, and a lot of people want to listen to, and a lot of other things other than choral music. But we wanted to spread the love, so as many concerts as we can, starting with what Maurice was talking about, a competition or a festival, the Israel Zangare, commemorating our founder and the great works that have come out of his love for choral music. And then also seasonal concerts like Christmas, Easter. We did a very beautiful concerts in the last Christmas, and then also concerts such as the Great Opera Nights, which further on just cultivate the love for choral music. So if we can cultivate this love for choral music, it will in turn help us in funding the so many things that we want to do as a choir, and for the other stars that we have that are shining within Chitungwiza Harmony Singers. As you will know, one of our lead soloist, Molly Zangare, who is the daughter of the founder, is now studying in South Africa, in Cape Town. She's doing wonderfully there, and she comes back every now and then. We do concerts with her and stuff like that. So we know we have other talents such as Molly within the choir, but how do we cultivate them? How do we bring them up? Molly was fortunate. There were a couple of people that paid for tuition. They still do, and we support her every now and then when she comes back home. But there is a lady, or there is a guy out there who also wants to to be a baritone, who also wants to be a soloist. How do we fund them? Because they are not all going to be lucky as Molly. So this is the sustainability that we've been trying to look at. But sadly, because of COVID-19, we haven't been able to move forward with any of those plans.
That's really beautiful, man. I can never forget Molly. Is she the soloist that sang Wamuhle Mzansi in Bloemfontein? Nijo?
Sorry, I didn't catch that one. I couldn't catch that one. Sorry, the line was shaking.
Okay, no, I was asking if Molly was the soprano soloist that was part of your choir singing Wamuhle Mzansi in Bloemfontein.
Yes, she was. She was.
I can never forget that performance. Wow.
Exactly.
That one. Yo. She's talented. She's talented. So,
yeah,
last week, I had a conversation with some of the most experienced women in choral music. One of them was Mama Ulindelwa Nqatha, the conductor of bel canto singers in Bloemfontein. And I asked, one of the questions I asked was, what are the challenges that the choral sector is facing currently, and what is it that we can do, to get out of such challenges? She mentioned exactly what you were saying. You're not sure of whether the choristers in South Africa have work, they're employed somewhere, they're running businesses, they might not be having the same challenges as your choristers in Zim. It's actually the same. She was saying it's the same. And I know also as a choral director, it's the same. And she was saying it's time that choirs must think as business entities, create projects that are going to raise money that is going to then be spent or invested back in choristers so that they're able to improve their livelihoods. So I'm actually excited that you guys in Chitungwiza are actually doing that, even though you were disturbed by the COVID-19 lockdown. And I hope you won't tire in those projects. You won't be discouraged. You will actually carry on. Tell me, now that you are, it's on lockdown. Let me come to you, Mama. We are on lockdown. and we cannot meet in rehearsals, how are you keeping in touch with your choristers? Just to know that they are well and for them to be motivated to look forward to whenever the economy will be opened. So how are you keeping in touch with them?
Yeah, I think the manager, the executive team make some announcements on our website or on our WhatsApp to make sure that the choristers are all well. Any disturbances their homes, any sicknesses, we always communicate. And there are some people then sending some the word of God through the WhatsApp, the website, and telling the choristers we should keep on praying about the COVID-19 so that we can meet, so that anybody can be taken away through this deadly disease. We always communicate almost every day. We've got anybody can send a word of prayer, some verses, some preachings through our chairman, so that it's put on the group for everybody to see.
That's great. That's great because I've learned in my few years as a choir conductor. I've learned that there are choristers who find comfort by being in the choir, who find hope by being in the choir. They get the faith that things will be okay without COVID-19 and whatever else that we're going through as the world now, but just under normal circumstances. Whenever they go to choir, they get into a space that is so positive that actually encourages them to go forward. So that is why I'm asking, how are you keeping in touch? And I like the fact that you are actually keeping in touch with your choristers, sharing some words of encouragement, making sure that people are okay, because we cannot run away from the fact that a lot of people, besides COVID-19, they're dealing with a lot of issues of mental health, because people don't know what's going to happen. So thank you very much for doing this. Let me give you a bit of break so that you can drink some water. The time now is 17 minutes before the hour of 8. So we are going to conclude the conversation at 8 o'clock. Everyone that is watching us on either YouTube or Facebook, remember you can actually ask them questions. I see a lot of beautiful comments like this one by Judith. Amazing conversation, enjoying every moment, a proud CHS member. So this one is your member. And Tafadzwa as well. Wamuhle, our best performance ever. You guys did very well. You know, by the time you finished that song, I was on my feet. I was on my feet literally, because you did very well. You did very well.
You don't know the plans that we had for you 2020. You were going to cry, Mr. Jeza.
You know what is nice about plans? There's always plan A and plan B, and there's always a way to move plans to future. So maybe I will still show those tears. Let's listen to some music from Chitungwiza Harmony Singers.
Hayo ndonyuka nalo ndikubambe ngezandla ndiyongena nayo ekhaya ezulwini ukholo lwami ndonyuka nalo ndikubambe ngezandla ndiyongena nayo ekhaya ezulwini ayo matata ayo matata ayo modimo halite ayo matata ayo modimo halite ikolo lami ndonyuka nalo ndikubambe ngezandla ndiyongena nayo ekhaya ezulwini ikolo lami ndonyuka nalo ndikubambe ngezandla ndiyongena nayo ekhaya ezulwini hayo 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 modimo halite hayo 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 modimo halite hayo matata hayo matata hayo modimo halite hayo matata hayo matata hayo modimo halite hayo 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 modimo halite hayo matata hayo 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 modimo halite
It seems like your members have a lot to say about this particular performance. Is there any significance about it?
Yeah, I could read some of the comments coming through. It's the large or the big sum of comments are coming through from our choristers and just remembering some of our departed choristers that are in that video. So we had an executive member. His name was Mr. Tole. He passed on, as well as another lady who was also singing soprano there. So especially that one that says rest in peace, guys, Mime Tobaya. She was one of our very strong members, and she passed on. So when they see that video, it always takes them back to when they were still alive, you know, the memories that they've had, the family that we are, and everybody is just it sort of saddens them at the same time. While we are happy we did that recording, it's a sad moment as well.
Yes, I was about to say as well that seeing those that we've been with that have passed on now on a video, it actually saddens us. But on the other hand, we should be glad that we had the opportunity to spend time with them and we were able to capture such moments. So I was going to ask, Mama, do you have any recordings where people can actually find your music and be able to download or buy your music? Where do they find your recordings?
I think on our website, I think because our first recording was a song, an album called Mavambo in 2002. I think we made 2 recordings. and you can find them on our website, those recordings, or you can buy them from. We've got CDs. We sell CDs from those recordings.
Okay. No, that's nice. There is a website.
Actually,
Yes, go ahead.
yeah, actually, the majority of the music that we have online is stuff that we have recorded and that we have been or that we have sold in previous years. So Mavambo, the disc that Mama Maurice is talking about, is our very first recording. However, because things have sort of changed from CDs into digital formats like MP3, etc., we haven't gone around trying to have this music online, but physically we still have some a couple of CDs with us that we can sell to people. The company itself that produced our music is no longer in existence, so it was part and parcel of the project that we wanted to do this year, which was to to start recording again, because we believe it was powerful then when we were selling our music, maybe before a concert or after a concert or when we are traveling, and it's still powerful now, for people to to purchase this music. So we would love to have our music online, but we just still have a couple of things to sort out, such as getting that music from that company that no longer exists, and then putting it on our platforms such as Deezer, Spotify. But if you can, as Maurice was saying, if you go on our website, you can always talk to us on our social media platforms. You can talk to us, and then we can easily just get a copy for you if we have any in stock.
Yeah. Speaking about social media platforms, so who are you on social media? What is the name that you're using there? How do they get hold of you?
We are using Chitungwiza Harmony Singers on all of our platforms, including our website. So that's at Chitungwiza Harmony Singers on Twitter, on Facebook, as Chitungwiza Harmony Singers, and on Instagram and YouTube. We are there as well as Chitungwiza Harmony Singers. Our website, just a point of correction, just in fact, the start of this year, if I'm not mistaken, or end of last year, we changed it from chitungwizaharmonysingers.wordpress into chitungwizaharmonysingers.com. So that means we have a couple of more features that we can put on our website. We try and do things that are very affordable to us because we don't have a large purse. But our website now is at www.chitungwizaharmonysingers.com.
Okay, so there you have it, chitungwizaharmonysingers.com. Ladies and gentlemen, the only way we can grow the sector, it is when we support one another. Let's support Chitungwiza Harmony Singers, buy their music, and I hope everyone that is listening is inspired, more especially the choirs, are inspired to even record music and put it in all the digital platforms. It's not only pop music that goes in there. Choirs as well can actually go in there and sell their music. So we only have 5 minutes, Joe. Can you let us into your future plans? Now that you had all the plans for 2020 and then COVID-19 happened, what are you guys planning for the future?
Well, in short, the only way is up. We need to up our membership. We need to grow musically. That means we want to sort of run an academy where we can diversify from not only just vocal lessons and vocals, singing with our vocals. We need to teach our upcoming and vibrant youthful singers stuff like music notation, music performances, and music playing, piano, guitar, you name it. And we want our own arrangements. We want our own academy, and we want to be not only recognized as the best choir in Zimbabwe. We want to tour regionally in the continent, and we have plans to tour even in Europe itself. So we are calling on all members of the choral fraternity. I think last year, but one, we had the Gonzaga choir from the United States of America visit us and spend a couple of days with us. They've been waiting, and they were waiting eagerly to have us in America as well. So we want to to grow the music, the choral music in Zimbabwe. And I know there is a huge love for choral music, and I can only say the right way is up. We need to stop the bickering, the wars between choirs, who stole, who took my choral members, who has been doing this and that, and taking my my clients and stuff like that. If you are just a good brand and you know how to sing, people will call you up and people will just invite you to be at their functions. We need to stop, and as rightfully as you said, we need to work together rather than thinking I will only succeed if I do something against Chitungwiza Harmony Singers. That is not going to grow the choral music in Zimbabwe. It's only just going to worsen the situation. So if we all unite, we can make choral music such a wonderful genre within the region and the continent and the world over.
I wouldn't say it any better. Mama, your closing words?
Okay, I thank you for the interview. I want to say I'm wishing if we can get a place, our own place, a CHS, to build our rooms for practices, our rooms for training. As he was talking about training some other people, I think it will encourage other choristers to join, other choristers to grow, because we've got many trainers who can train others to learn guitars, whatever instruments which are used in the choral music. And I would like to, I just pray for our country to make them appreciate our choral music, but because most of them, they don't appreciate our choral music. But I think they are growing. I just wish they could follow our choral music so that we can grow.
Yeah,
I think, yeah. And choral music, I think, yeah. Sorry?
Yes, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say, choral music makes us unite. And I just thank God for that. In this COVID time, my mind sometimes it goes blank if I don't sing. So I just want to listen to music every day, every day, every day. We are quite good friends. When you go to our rehearsals, you come and sleep, you laugh, you talk, you sing. It will make us live longer through music, through choral music. I love choral music, really. And
Certainly.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for joining me this evening. We have learned a lot, from you guys. You are such an inspiration. I hope you won't be discouraged, by the challenges that you are facing, either due to COVID-19 or challenges that you are facing in your country with choristers not having employment, with, the general attitude maybe from the government or those that are in power. You won't be discouraged, and you will keep your spirit and your attitude, because you've got such a beautiful attitude towards the growth of the choir, and your approach to things generally is really inspiring. Thank you so much for taking my invitation to be part of the choir hour. And I hope I will catch up with you soon, maybe when the lockdown is lifted, to hear what is it that you're doing, and perhaps what you just said about that I would have cried if I would have imagined what, or have heard what you guys were planning for this year. So I am hoping to actually hear that. I'm curious now. So thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, on Sunday, once again, I continue with the conversations with great women in the industry. I'll be joined by, among other people, Umama Sheila Spellman, Umama Umandi Sanguza, nabanye omama abakhulu in this choral music. And next week, I then have a conversation with rather a younger one, Uhoitimang, Sizauva, who she is, what she's doing, what she's been up to. So see you on Sunday, and we continue with the choir hour on Thursday at 7 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a good evening.